Hello, welcome to the Logic Knot episode 2. I know it's a little unconventional, but since we did the Magic Player League podcast as our first podcast, this one will be the general introduction podcast. So once again, it is just me, Eli, and Kasi here.
Ozzy Baker. I guess I work here now. Um, Today, what we're going to be doing is just kind of introducing ourselves and what we want to do with this podcast, which is basically nothing. We're doing this
Basically,
because,
yeah,
yeah,
just talk whatever we
yeah,
want, bring up whatever's on our minds, whatever the
about
flavor of
Magic,
the month
sprinkle in a
is.
little bit of Clippers hate on occasion.
you
We all
know,
understand who we're cheering for and where we're coming from. But today, yeah, we're just going to talk about where we came from as Magic players and stuff like that.
So first of all, I'm 23. I've been playing
What's your
competitively.
name?
As I already introduced myself, I am Eli Rosenthal.
Oh, nice to meet you, bro.
ASL. You know what they say. So I'm 23. I'm in the greater Los Angeles area. I have been playing Magic competitively since Concept Tarkir, so it's like 4 years maybe. But I was cracking packs since like Dark Steel era. So I've owned Magic cards and played Magic for a very very long time, like well over 10 years. Um,
Yeah,
I my GP percentage is like 20% maybe, no 40%.
40%
My
day
day
two,
two, yeah,
not
day two
40%.
percentage is
Yeah.
40%. Um, I'm pretty good if I do say so myself. That's
Yeah.
it.
So my name's Kazi Baker. I'm pretty better.
How
21
many
years
day
old.
twos?
Anyways, I'm 21. I've been playing Magic since 2015. I think Gatecrash came out, and I started around then. So 2014, 2015. Time.
Wow, you
Somewhere around
really
there.
cut out.
I've been playing Magic since like 2013, 2014 or something like that.
What about competitively?
Competitively, I've been playing Magic since I went to the University of Arizona, so I guess it's 2015.
But yeah, so speaking of coming to the University of Arizona, that is where Kazi and I met, and we were going to this like impromptu Magic tournament that the little like pool room was doing, and after.
Yeah, so the University of Arizona is very so the University of Arizona is the only college I've ever been to with a pool hall, and that's where our meetings were. Every
But they
Saturday at
weren't.
12 o'clock p.m.
Well, hold on. We're not there yet. So they were running impromptu Magic tournaments, in which I would go and one person would show up, and I'd say, okay, well, we can't. Let's play whatever. And then the next week, somebody else would show up, and I was like, well, you missed the guy last time. And then the third week, a third person showed up, and I'm like, all right, look, if you all just come next week, then like we could actually do something. Eventually, Kazi was one of those people, and Kazi's like, we'll just start our own club. For whatever reason, he's like, you can be president, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna say no to that. It's like a promotion.
Because you were there first. I showed up December of that year, right? And like, even though I was clearly the best player in the group because I came through and I whooped you all with Storm on day one.
You didn't have Storm. You had like fucking Nicol Bolas garbage.
I stole your deck. It was great.
I was on like Burn. Like I was on like Burn with that Goblin guides because they were so expensive. I had Myth Realized, which is one of the dopest cards of all time.
Myth realizes the GOAT. Y'all don't know. I've lost so many times to that deck because I play Grixis and you can't beat it.
Yeah. Kazi hates
Myth Realize.
Planeswalkers for the real about me is that Planeswalkers just tilt Kazi because Grixis can't do shit.
It's really enchantments. Planeswalkers are fun. I play Dreadboards now.
But yeah, so we created University of Arizona. Or University
Yeah,
of
we
Arizona
created the
Magic
entire
Club.
University of Arizona.
We created the Magic Club. We had a couple members. We tried to do events with everyone. We took us to two GPs, one of which
Yeah.
was just Kazi, but the other one was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
One of which was definitely just me. Which, in my opinion, was the greatest team move of all time, right?
he scouted out the idea of going to.
Well, yeah, because we only got funding for one person, right? And I think I offered it to you, but I'm not sure. And it was a limited GP, so I ended up going Albuquerque in 2015, right? 2016.
Yes.
It was awful because
it was standard and it was dominated by that Nissa deck, right?
It was limited, and I went like 1-4.
Oh, even worse.
And dropped.
But the second one was GP Phoenix, which was right down the road.
Which was awesome.
Which I played a deck I had never played before and almost made it to day 2, but gave it up to some dredge player because he didn't quite. He was stubborn and wouldn't concede to me. So I was like, you know what, you should just go on.
That's because you don't understand that game theory dictates that
homebrew
Esper. You are going to draw, willing to take the loss.
Yeah, I'm not a game theorist. But yeah, so that's really how we started. How we got to know each other, and then yeah. So I had wanted to flex my programming abilities. I'm a web developer mostly, but you know I'm just a programmer in general. And so I decided I'm going to make something that I love, and you know build a site that I like. And so I'm like, you know what, I'll make a Magic the Gathering site, and I decided on a little news content site, which we, after much deliberation, named the Logic Knot.
What were the working titles? Did we have anything else?
There were a lot of working titles. It was me and somebody else that I was bouncing them back and forth with. And a lot of them were really bad. Like, I don't even remember any of them. But like, just like when we thought the Logic Knot, like it just was like seemed perfect. Like it really did.
It's a pretty good name. And like originally we had like 5 people who wanted to do it together, and
all of them
like, definitely just me and you. No, they're great people. They're just
we're the core. Well, the core 2. Other people are like sprinkled here and there for content or like editing and stuff.
That's the last time we posted an article by somebody who wasn't us. Like.
No, even I haven't posted an article in forever because I've been working on the
you're working on like our brand new website, which we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so that's the story of the Logic Knot and of us, our magicness. But those are just the beginnings, you know. Obviously.
Also, whatchamacallit? I put this in the script because I definitely want to do it, but I want to shout out Amazing Discoveries. They're the store we played at. Competitive Magic and stuff like that, and they're a great store. In my opinion, the best one I've ever been to, and I've been to some pretty solid ones. I just want to say, you know, if you ever ordering cards online or anything like that, it's because they're awesome, they're great people, and I'm not getting paid by them to say any of this. They're just really cool people, and I love them to death. Shout outs to Amazing Discoveries.
Yeah, it's a really good store. Very friendly atmosphere, and they taught me a lot. Like
also, if they pay me to say stuff like that, I will say it more.
That's a good point.
That's
Feel free.
For now.
Yeah, good point. Wizards hire us. Anyways,
so that's how the Logic Knot started. Right? Is basically Eli came up with us the idea. I think I was actually one of the last people he approached about it, and to be the one that kind of stuck with it because. I really just enjoy Magic. And yeah, I mean, ever since then, we've just been kind of like trying to post semi-regularly. I put out like an average of an article a week, but I've definitely taken like 3 months break before.
Yeah, so
that's what we're doing now.
It'll definitely gear up, but we'll get into that later. Other than our beginnings, first of all, my favorite formats are Modern, Pauper, and EDH, and Vintage Cube, if that counts as a format. I would rank these. Vintage Cube is my number 1 favorite format. I think it is the best way to play Magic. It encompasses everything that Magic is about.
Storm. It was terrible.
I wanted to draft Control, but Kazi was here like, no, take the Turnabout, man. Take Turnabout. It would have been a great Control.
Great. You can't play Control in Vintage Cube. What happens?
That's right. I play it all the time. What do you play against? What?
When you play against all the Storm decks.
Well, I just counter their Storm cards. I actually no. You missed this. Oh my god. So I drafted it was it was a control deck. Blue white control, splashing
Christ.
one red card, which was Nahiri and Emrakul. I literally drafted the Emrakul and then the
Come on,
Nahiri.
dude, that's a combo deck.
One red card. Every game I played, at least one of the rounds of each match, I got a Soul Ring and a Nahiri in my opening hand. So turn 2 Nahiri on like 3 separate occasions. But my last opponent, I couldn't figure out what he was. He was actually Storm. And he he brain freezed
I've
me
been there.
with Evercruel in my deck. I'm like, at first I'm like, I'm gonna lose. Crap, he's gonna brain freeze me. And then I was like, you know what? I can like unexpectedly absent my guy, so I have like 1 extra turn. And then I realized I was like, wait a minute, Emrakul shuffled my whole graveyard back in. So he brain freezes me. Emrakul gets in, shuffles my deck. Brain freeze keeps happening. Emrakul gets in a second time, shuffles my deck, and then he just concedes. And I'm like,
You know I hate you, right,
Yeah. rewarded. That is so.
Jesus
Anyways,
Christ.
Vintage Cube is the highest form of Magic in my opinion.
Pretty solid Magic deck.
Other than that, Modern, I'm one of those players that falls like, I don't want to constantly have a different standard deck, but I can't afford Legacy, so I'm in Modern. I'm incredibly close to going full circle in my Modern journey. I started Burn because that's just like what was easy, but I really wanted Abzan when I started. I built like Little Kid Abzan.
Time Burn was so cheap, right? Because Eidolon was like
It was just Goblin Guide, which was like $40. Like other than that, like
$40, but the rest of the deck was actually
yeah, cons had just dropped, so those cards were like $7. You can get like Wooded Foothills for $7.
Yeah, it was insane.
God, I wish I bought like 100 of them back then.
Yeah, honestly.
So I went from Burn to I built Little Kid Abzan, and I loved it. And then I can't remember how it happened. I think I built Control after that. And I was building.
You built Storm first because you had the original.
I built Storm like
Control,
3 times. It was awful. I like built Storm, and then I built Jeskai Control from Storm, and I started. What I did.
Remember buying into
What I did was I bought my first, because Splinter Twin had just top 8'd with Jeskai Twin, so I bought my first Splinter Twin and Deceiver Exarchs. And that Friday, the ban announcement was leaked that they were gonna ban Splinter Twin, and I like walk of shamed up to the cashier, and I'm like, "Can I just sell these to you like right now?" So I got like good money for it because it just plummeted in price after that, but that hurt. And then I decided I wanted to build Abzan, so I started collecting Tarmogoyfs. And they announced they're going to reprint Liliana in Modern Masters 3, I think it was. And Liliana went up in price.
Yep.
Never went down. And so I'm just like, I give up on Abzan. I'll just stick with Jeskai Control.
That was hot.
And I rode that wave until recently when I sold the whole deck for Jund. And I love it. Jund is one of my favorite decks. I love mid-range. And so I might be going full circle because if there's a bunch of good Abzan cards that come out of Modern Horizons, I might just switch back to Abzan and boom, full circle.
Okay. What are your least favorite formats?
I hate Legacy. I hate it so much. It just, oh boy, I get Wasteland and Force of Will. Oh, I can't play Magic. Like that's like the people who complain about like Control in Modern, like they've never played Legacy, because no matter what you do, you get attacked on 5 different fronts. And I'm just here like I just want to play like a single Pyromancer. Like hold on. So there's a caveat to this because I was so pissed off, but then I built Manaless Dredge, which is also one of the most fun ways to play Magic. And I played against Jacob, who had Show and Tell. And he could not beat me. I would beat him like 5 times out of 6.
No, he's playing in an IRL meta where Manaless Dredge doesn't exist, right? And so Show and Tell sideboard only gets so many cards, so he's just like, I don't need these Graph Digger's cages. I don't need these, whatchamacallit, surgicals as badly, so I'm going to play the...
Yeah. So Manaless Dredge was fun.
Yeah.
And then I just don't like Standard. Like, I don't have anything against it. It's whatever to me.
Yeah.
And then real quick, so in Commander, I play Kess. might build something else, but I just as soon as I saw Kess, I fell in love. And then
Yeah.
in Pauper, Tortured Existence is my favorite. You know, obviously you can see I love grindy BS. Tortured
Yeah.
Existence is that. So those are my formats and decks in those formats. What
What are
about
your
you?
favorite colors?
No, you go first. What are your favorite formats?
Okay, fine. The greatest format on this earth is modern. It's not close. Every other format is trash because in modern, you sit down, your opponent plays his first card, and you know whether or not you're going to win or lose. And that's amazing because gambling is great.
Or they play their first cards if they're affinity and they just like dump half their hand.
I remember I was playing at the recent Grand Prix LA, and it was round 8, and my opponent sat down. My opponent played a turn 1 Scalding Tarn and didn't crack it, and I was like, because I'm playing against Dredge. And the next turn, he cracked his Scalding Tarn during my end step. He untapped, he played his Cathartic Reunion, and I died.
Yep, that's modern for you. That's why I love that. It's a really old Reddit post that was like, how do you know what deck your opponent's playing by their first card, by their first land? And there's this whole rundown. It's like if it's like Gemstone Mine, it's Ad Nauseum. If it's like a Misty Rainforest, it's probably Infect. And the last one is like if they dump half their hand with artifacts, then it's Affinity. And I just lost it.
I love the fact that like when you're playing against a Dredge, like all those lands and all that are like tells. Like
Say it again.
every single land, like when people are like, oh, if they play like turn 1 Arid Macer, or they play turn 1 Bloodsmith Mire, they play turn 1 Scalding Tarn, you can assume every single one of those is Dredge. You're gonna be right. Dredge can play every single land in this format.
Well, including the new Psycho lands that'll be out with Modern Horizons.
Oh, are those
Coded
actually
here.
confirmed, or are they
Nope,
just not
they're
crunched out?
they're Eli guarantee confirmed.
Eli official guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that yet. Let's talk about that. We're probably going to have to do 2 Modern Horizons episodes at this point.
Yeah,
because
probably. We should just go through
it's
alphabetical. Like, all right,
real juicy.
here's where we
Yeah,
are.
but Modern first. Gotta love Modern.
Any other
Second,
formats?
Arena, not Standard, but Arena because Arena is pretty, and I've dealt with Moto for long enough.
I also think that Arena should be separated from Standard. And quick sneak peek, it will be on our site, but that's another thing. However,
I don't mean Arena's best of 1. I just mean playing on Arena feels like it's not even playing any other format.
But
Like,
I
it's amazing.
I can't do it. I open it up and I look at it and I'm just like, I don't want this.
It's too pretty. I need to go back to Moto.
I mean, maybe I need to like build an actual deck. I just feel like, look, all I should be doing is grinding with whatever my best deck is over and over and over
but
again.
you don't have a deck. Like,
It's also like I just don't like it. Like I don't want to play Is It Drakes. I really hate Is It Drakes. Okay,
Really?
It sucks. I hate it. Maybe I just need to build like black green. I just need to build something I like and enjoy on Arena. That's what
I
I'll do.
bet you'd love the Sulfite deck. But anyways, we're digressing. So second favorite is Arena, not Standard. Just playing on Arena. And then I guess my third favorite format. I don't have too much experience in Vintage, but I enjoy it a lot. When I do rarely get to play it, I love watching it more than anything.
Yeah, you built something for Vintage, didn't you? I don't know what it was.
We were doing proxied Vintage or something at one point, and I was playing like I was playing later because it's the same deck I tend to play across most formats. But let's see. And then when it comes to my least favorite, the Standard is the worst format on Earth. It's garbage, and if you play it, that sucks. Playing the format where everybody plays mid range and whoever gets the most card advantage wins every single time is lame.
Sounds
Even though Standard's been
beautiful.
pretty good for the last year, it's been good for the last year.
That's a good point. It has been
Previous 4 years.
awful for so long.
Oh no,
So-
dude! Standard was garbage up until like
It was garbage when cons came out because everything was Abzan.
I think it was garbage up until M19, right?
I don't
Or we
know.
still
Probably up
only
until
played
when
Mono
Nexus of Fate was banned. Because like when Nexus of Fate was in it, it was all like Teferi. I think when Nexus of Fate got banned, it's like things have settled.
Oh,
Things
I mean, I was cool with the Nexus of Fate format, like, and not on BO1 because BO1's stupid, but like Oh no, I actually changed my answer. Standard's not the worst format anymore. Best of one is the worst
Best
format
of
by
one.
far.
I don't even consider that a format.
But that's only because it's a terrible derivative of standard, which is the second worst format now.
You see,
Just that
best of
like
one modern would be better.
I mean, best of one modern would be worse, but they're never going to do that because for some reason the designers of the game understand that when it comes to modern, you need sideboards, but when it comes to standard, it doesn't matter.
I mean, that is a good point. You definitely do need sideboard in modern.
You definitely need it in standard too, but they're just like, ah, screw it.
Um,
Anyway, and then what's so standard sucks, and the reason for that is actually mostly probably because standard sucked the entire time I was playing Magic.
yeah, I mean that makes sense.
2018, yeah, because it was I came in during like flipping blue white control, which is a deck I like, but also a standard format that I think I can reasonably say was like pretty toxic. And then Abzan was the best deck for 3 years.
Yeah, I liked that
And
time.
then format, and then we had like the collected company formats for like another year.
Yeah, Blade
Mono red for like
Company,
another year.
Reflector Mage. Ugh.
And we had mono red for like a year. And ever since mono red has not been Hazaret based, standard's been not as terrible.
Yeah, people say that you need a red deck wins for a format to be good. Like I've heard that before.
No, I think you need an aggro deck to be good to have a good format. I don't think you need an aggro deck to be the end all be all. Like if an aggro deck is good, it's good. But if an aggro deck is the definitive top deck of your format, that means that
Yeah, like it's good. It's good if it's good if
right, like
the
just
if
put these
the
cards.
yeah, it's good if the format allows for a red
An
aggro deck
aggro
to
deck, yeah.
prey on the other decks because it means that
Yeah.
like the format's balanced.
Red, or not even red, but most aggro decks or the derivatives of them are the top deck in the format. It's usually a problem because that means even if you're playing a deck that's built to counter it, if you don't draw the correct answers in the set amount of time you have before you die immediately, you die immediately.
Yeah.
Like for the best decks in like modern or vintage or legacy, it becomes a problem because even if you're built to combat it, if you don't draw correctly, you die.
Yeah. But
Anyways, game
Yeah,
design
anyways.
aside, third least favorite format, Commander, garbage format. That being said, Thalia Stacks, greatest deck.
ouch.
Let's move on. So next up, we have favorite colors. So Eli, what are your favorite colors?
It's tough because all the decks I play, I don't know. It's tough. I honestly like they all have their merits. Maybe like white might be my least favorite. Like it's really only it's only ever a splash color in my mind.
Hey,
It should never
sideboard
be a
also
primary
white.
color. But it doesn't. Yeah, it's like a sideboard. It's like, oh, I play it so I can have Stony Silence and Path to Exile.
Mhm.
But other than that, it's garbage. I like green. I wish it was more powerful. Tarmogoyf's
Yeah.
good.
The thing is, green just doesn't do fun. Like, not even not fun. It's just that green doesn't do. Green does a thing. Like,
It has creatures, and everybody needs creatures usually.
but other colors have creatures. So,
Yeah, so it's really not much of an identity, but that's a whole other
Yeah.
thing. So then I'd say like red is probably my. Well, hold on. Well, I didn't say green was my least favorite. I think my favorite might be blue. Like I'm a blue mage.
But you played the entire rainbow.
I have. Like I've played the whole rainbow. All I know is white is my least favorite because it's only ever a splash. My favorite might be tied between green and black. I think
Edgy.
red might be my second least favorite because it's also almost always a splash color. Like
Sure.
like Jund is green black X. And I mean even Jeskai always felt like white XX. Like
If
it's
you
just
cut
like
the red out of your Jund deck, it becomes better.
yeah, like that well that's for Jund. And for Jeskai it's like red for lightning
Out of
bolt,
your Jeskai
white
deck,
for
it's
path,
better.
and everything else is blue. Like I guess Wrath is like a little bit of white.
Come on,
Like
your
Electrolyze is a little bit of
Raptor
red.
White, your Tempest Spears,
But that's what I'm saying.
your
Like
Teferi, come on.
yeah, so like red sucks too. So like white is the worst, red's the second worst. Then
I miss red being like really powerful in modern. That was fun times.
am I missing a color? No, I'm not.
You have
Wait, white,
addressed
red,
every color at some point.
green,
Yeah.
black, blue. That's it. So yeah, so blue might be middle, but I don't know. It's probably maybe Sultai is like me. Sultai tied for Sultai, but yeah. What
Yeah. So
about
you're just cool with everything.
but
You don't
Sultai
have
more
that
than the other two.
dedication. You don't have it built into you that you need to be playing only exactly three colors, which is where we get to me.
Yeah. So what are your favorites?
Sorry, go ahead. What earlier? Anyways, I was talking about how I didn't want to spoil my deck because I told too much about like the next bling. But basically, in every format, I will play Grixis Control and only Grixis Control. It even got to the point where earlier this month I was playing Grixis mid range on Arena, and then I was like, "This deck sucks," and then I started playing Grixis Control again. But anyways, I force Grixis Control in almost every format. I guess I don't force it in Commander anymore, but that's only because I don't want to deal with having to keep up with Commander. So I play Thalia, but like I don't know, you and like you can ask people around Arizona, like the entirety of Arizona, and they know that I only play Grixis Control in every single freaking format. I play Grixis Control in Modern, based on like the old Tasker Corey Burkhart list. In Legacy, I play Kess Grixis Control. In Vintage, I played Grixis Thieves, the greatest deck.
What is that? Grixis Thieves?
Grixis Thieves, Notion Thief, Dak Faden combo.
Oh, actually, that is pretty sweet.
It was so sick. Let's see. Standard, I guess I play Grixis Control now, and those are the only formats I can really think of. Oh, and in Best of One, I played Mono Red because Best of One is garbage and not a format. And Grixis is just my favorite colors. I think red is my favorite color because red is hilarious. It's the best flavor text, therefore it must be the best color. I think blue is my second favorite because blue gives you agency and decisions, and I like agency and decisions. Mostly the decision to make your opponent not make decisions. And then black is edgy and cool, and then green is boring, and then white is bad.
Oh, I'm glad green's not at the bottom.
Yeah.
Glad you're also a fellow lover of green.
Green's okay. It just like every green card says creature on it. It's boring. Like
hell no. That's like how you play Magic. That's like Magic. Magic's all about creatures.
Magic creature based Magic. Okay. The original best creature was what like.
It was that. It was the Djinn that dealt you 1 damage.
The best spell was Ancestral Recall.
But that's like still the best spell. Oh yeah, that's not fair. That's like by far stupidly best spell.
And now the best creature, maybe
Tarmogoyf?
It's so weird. No, dude, come on, let's be real. Tarmogoyf has fallen out of favor.
Wait,
Best creature might actually be Arclight Phoenix.
The best. Well, that's not fair because it's just a flavor of the month. It would used to be Death Shadow. Like how long until it's just something else?
The best creature was just a really abusive mechanic. I think Arclight Phoenix is close. Like it's really good in Legacy. It's probably still top dog in Modern.
So what about Thalia? Thalia's pretty good.
It's arguably the best deck in Standard.
Misty's pretty good. Snapcaster Mage is pretty good. Delver of Secrets is pretty good.
Snapcaster and 4 Lightning Bolts in so many different decks, and let me tell you, Snapcaster is a garbage card.
Snapcaster is a good card. I don't know what you're talking. I've won so many times off Snapcaster beats.
I think right now, Snapcaster is probably my second best creature ever printed on my list. But Arclight Phoenix is super busted, dude. Arclight Phoenix is pretty unfair. Like when in Legacy, when people go like, and they come to themselves and they go like, all right, I think I thought through my turn 1, and then they go like, Total Corpse Dance.
And they go what?
Dumb. Like Dark. So have you seen the Grixis Phoenix deck in Legacy?
Actually no, I don't do Legacy.
Okay, so pull it up in the background, but basically it just tries to play 3 spells in 1 turn, and one of those spells is a Corpse Dance. So what you do is you go like any 3 spells work. So you can go like turn 1 like Thoughtseize and then Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, and like Corpse Dance.
Dark Ritual, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, because Legacy is really powerful, and you put 3 Phoenixes in your graveyard, and then you attack your opponent for 9, and then you're just like, go.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that is pretty powerful.
It's pretty all right.
Um,
Card's kind of changing it, but like like Legacy actually moves faster than I think a lot of formats do right now.
yeah, I mean, it does. It's built to do that, right? Like, it has all the top cards, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I want to make an honorable mention for Pauper, which used to be one of my top formats. It used to be above Vintage, but since they banned all the Vintage cards, it's lame now.
Rip Cataxian Probe. Wizards is finally like,
Oh my
look,
God, dude.
look, it was a mistake. We're so sorry. We shouldn't have done it.
We didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know. We thought, it didn't draw you 3 cards for 1 blue. We figured 1 card for 2 life was like,
Fine. And free information about
yeah, the
what
free
you're
information is what
doing.
really makes it. If it was just draw a card, like, maybe it'd still be there, but like, oh my god, being like, oh, you
It
can't
was a
stop
spell
me.
That says draw a card. It's like a slightly better version of Swamp Thing or whatever it's called, Street Raid.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's just not slightly. I think it's just way better version of Street Raid.
No. I'm saying like if it didn't say look at your opponent's hand, it would probably
Yes,
just be a slightly better version.
No, it'd be slightly worse because Street Wraith is instant speed.
I
don't know if
think
it's worse.
contextually it's a little bit better just because of the spell, so it enables Phoenix.
Fuck Phoenix.
Really good, Eli. The card's busted.
I'm so done with Phoenix. All right, so
Ooh, you
what?
can also go like if you play the all-in version of Grixis Phoenix in Legacy, you can go like Lotus Petal Swamp, Dark Ritual, Entomb, and then Corpse Dance, and you get 4 Phoenixes.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
And then your opponent plays Toxic Deluge, and then you play like Finale of Eternity or who cares, and you just win. It's great. Balance. Let's see. What's next? We talked about our favorite colors, our favorite decks and formats. Ooh, favorite cards. Okay, favorite cards. Go, Eli, go.
So I think for sure, 100%, my favorite card is Seadrana. It encapsulates everything I want to do in Magic. I want efficiency. I want multiple effects on a single card. I want to top out at a Lightning Helix Goyf. It's the dream. It is the essence of Magic in one card.
That card represented, not that it was too powerful, but it represented everything wrong with Standard for 2 years.
It's great. It's amazing. I love it.
So
The
the
people
card
love
itself wasn't the impressive part. It was the fact that every card in the deck about as good as that card. Abzan Charm was the worst card in the deck. And it had an instant speed draw to and a kill spell on it.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing.
No, that card is so stupid.
Other than that, I mean, it's going to be a bunch of Jund and Jeskai cards. I mean, there's a lot of... The issue is that there's a lot of like circumstantial cards that I just love. So like I love Kiki
Edge
Jiki
cases are great. Yeah, Kiki Jiki is sick.
because like Kiki Jiki helped me like that was my deck was Jeskai Kiki.
Ooh, that deck was bad.
But yeah, so it's tough, but Nihiri would definitely have to be up there. Like I always liked Nihiri, especially when it could start churning out.
Yeah. Nihiri, man, I didn't like that deck because it was bad, but
I love cheating out Emrakul, so it's really nice to have
the deck
that.
was awesome.
But then Liliana, like but not even that. Like Kolaghan's Command is better. Like Kolaghan's Command is so nice because it just hoses affinity. It gets you back what you need, and it discard their card, get back a Goy. It's just so good against aggro and control that it's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of sweet cards out there, and Eli's a huge fan of a lot of them because he's played a lot of them.
I have. I've
Because
played
he's
a
a
lot.
whore who has no direction.
I definitely don't have direction. That's a good point. I switch so often. But yeah, so those are my favorite cards. What about you?
Yeah, as usual, I have a completely objective, fully ranked system of cards. Number 1, Lightning Bolt. Greatest card. So sick, so efficient. Hits people in the face. Well, hits creatures in their face. playable off of Snapcaster. Number
You
two
play
is
it in
Snapcaster.
aggro. You can play it
Yeah, you play it
in
in every
control. You play it in mid range. It's literally, you play it in Jeskai control. You play it in Jund, which is mid range. You play it in burn. Very
Yeah.
versatile card.
Yep. Number two is Lightning Bolt. Fun fact: I've never registered a deck for a tournament in which I could be playing 4 Snapcaster for any tournament above like SNM. Right. Never registered a deck that doesn't play 4 Snapcasters and 4 Lightning Bolts.
Gross.
I played a really bad Delver deck at a PBTQ once. When Death Shadow was out, mind you, I played a Delver deck. With 4 Lightning Bolts in it.
Gross.
It was disgusting. I top aided, but it was disgusting.
I mean, you just play 12 bolt.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of bolts. It was good.
What else?
Number 3 is Cryptic Command, because Cryptic Command is awesome. Like choices, and Cryptic Command has options. Options are good.
I also love the choices. Choices make it so
Yeah.
good.
Choices are hot. I'm really excited for this new Modern Horizons card that has like choices on it. More next episode. And then I want to mention that I'm also one of those people who's a huge fan of like really busted cards that shouldn't exist. Fan, huge Dig Through Time fan, huge Gitaxian Probe fan, huge man. What's the card I always ask them to unban? Ponder fan.
Gross.
Remember hashtag unban Ponder?
Yeah, I do.
Was that our official club? Like our club? What was our club mission statement when we submitted it?
Yeah, but that was just being dumb.
Although I don't actually think they should unban Ponder or any of these other cards, I'm a huge fan of them because I like degenerate stuff. Honestly, one of the only reasons I used to play Commander is because I could play all the cards that I couldn't play in real life.
Yeah, that's also the reason I like Commander. It's just because I'm like, oh, this dumb card that I could never actually play it without just hating myself. I'll play that.
Yeah, no, playing Commander was always fun because you got to like just like 1 mana draw 3 was like really good, but it was never like, oh, we all lose, even though like you did half the time.
Basically.
Back Treasure Cruise off of a Kess Dissident Mage is the most rewarding feeling on Earth. Don't at me.
I don't know. I play Kess combo, so getting to Doomsday off is one of the best feelings.
But the Doomsday is so easy in Commander. Like it's way harder in Legacy, but it's so simple in Commander because you just go for the win every time. Doomsday for like utility pile or anything like that because you'll just lose.
Wait. As of I know this is the wrong podcast, but has the Black Mythic?
You're mad cutting out for me, by the way.
I know this isn't the Modern Horizons podcast, but has the Black Mythic everyone's been talking about been spoiled?
The Black Mythic everyone's talking about been spoiled?
Yeah.
Let's refresh this page and find out because I definitely have it up in the background. Pretty sure it hasn't been spoiled, and if it hasn't been spoiled. He wanted to be Doomsday.
It should be Doomsday. It should. Modern needs Doomsday.
What? Why are you saying Modern needs more combo decks? Like what?
Because Doomsday is like the combo deck. It's like the and it's like literally the combo card. The combo card
is like one of those combo decks, at least in Legacy. What I term as overbalanced, where it is a bad deck, but it is a playable deck. Not good enough most of the time, like almost all the time, right? The same issue in Modern, where it's like cool and all, and I wish it could happen, but it just kind of like won't. Like even if they print it, it's just Sick Doomsday deck. What are you gonna do? Play like what's your pile? Like 4 Swamp Things or Street Race? I keep calling it Swamp Thing. 4 Street Race and a flipping Lab Maniac. Like
that sounds awesome. Hell yeah.
A Lab Maniac. 4 Metamorphose and a Lab Maniac is on the list, dude. The old Doomsday pile was just 4 Arclight Phoenixes.
But anyways, Doomsday's great. Go on. What
Pretty
else?
sick.
What else are you a fan of?
Yeah, I mean, again, Cloudstone Curio is a pretty hot one. Fan of Notion Thief because it's funny. I like Dax Faden because every other blue-red Planeswalker is really garbage. What are some of the bad cards I played for? Oh, favorite bad card is Evolving Wilds.
No, it's not.
This,
I know what your favorite. I know what your favorite bad card is.
Favorite bad card can't be Evolving Wilds because
It's not.
Evolving
It's
Wilds
bad. It's
is
worse than
too
that.
good.
It's worse than that. Your
What is
favorite
it?
bad card is Cruel Ultimatum.
It's goaded. Cruel Ultimatum is. Ultimatum dominated its standard format. Okay.
What standard format was that? Like 2006 or something?
I don't know, flipping
Like-
5-color command block like
15 years ago? No, garbage.
Vivid Lands and stuff. Who
Garbage.
cares? Cool Ultimatum is great.
Garbage.
That card
That's
was
your favorite
so
bad card.
sick. I don't think I've ever casted and lost.
Because
ever
because you've
drawn
never
one, so-
because you never ever get to cast it. Sure, you win when you cast it, but like you have to be way ahead for it to be legitimate.
I don't know what you're talking about, Eli. The card's awesome. Jesus Christ, that
So
card was a
bad.
mess. Okay, what's next on this list?
Why do we play this game? Mine's easy. I love this game. I
mean-
I played it for a while. I'm very rulesy and lawyery, so I love the like cohesion of the game. Being able to like work around the rules, work them to your favor, all that stuff. It just makes it a lot of fun. And so, being able to like, consider lines, stuff like that, the same way chess is, but with a little bit of randomization. It's very addicting. And so, first and foremost, that's why I like it. Anything
Yeah.
else?
I think those are all pretty solid reasons. I think those reasons are all in my book. But it's story time, Eli. You ready?
Let's hear it. It's gonna be dumb.
So I grew up playing basketball, as you know, and as podcast listeners will know going forward, because I've got to mention it like once or twice per episode. But I kind of needed a competitive outlet, right? And Magic was fun. It had that little bit of variance. Because I'm pretty sure I would have a gambling addiction if it weren't for Magic, by the way. Like, I don't want to put that out there. But no, Magic's always had like a little bit of variance, but it's always been like pretty skill based. It's always been a lot of fun, and I love that you can be so creative with it and just like do what you want and also beat people into the ground, right? Like I've never been the person where winning is number one, because winning is always like right behind having the most fun possible, but winning is still very much.
Winning is having the most fun possible.
Definitely enhances your fun value a lot.
Enhances your fun value.
It's all zero sum, okay? There's only a certain amount of fun that you can have in a game of Magic.
But yeah, that's a good one. That's the
One
other
ball.
part is that it's fun to win. It's a great competitive outlet.
Yeah, honestly, and I think that you can actually see it in. And this is actually one of the reasons why I think there's certain people in the Magic community who are like pretty toxic. But it's because like when you give someone a competitive outlet, it brings out their competitive spirit, right? And some people's competitive spirit isn't like or the most fun. But
Some people just get ugly. I mean, that's the best way to say it.
some people get like kind of ugly over Magic, but I love the game. And even though those people aren't necessarily people who I hang out with, I can still like understand where they're coming from, because I used to get like that in basketball. Like I don't know, man. Magic is just fun. Like in the end, it's just a lot of fun, right?
It is just fun.
Also, I play to keep that sick GP win percentage above 60%.
Sure. Right. Let's
It is. It's 63%. I just 5-3 every time.
I guess it's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I've
It's
gone
still
5-3 at
60%.
every GP that I haven't day 2'd, except for no, I've gone 5-3 at every GP I haven't day 2'd, except for a 5-2-2. The day 2s I've had, one of which is actually a lower win percentage because I didn't do well.
Rip.
But anyways, yeah, no, I'm just a huge fan of this game. Just dumb fun. I recommend it to anybody who doesn't play it, and to anybody who plays Magic Arena. and found us through like Magic Arena or whatever, who doesn't play on paper, because a huge reason for this game being successful is the fact that overall the community is pretty good. I know that we've taken a lot of pot shots at like people in the community lately and stuff like that. Even if we haven't named names or whatever, like it's pretty obvious sometimes that like we're not showing everybody in the best light, but the community's pretty awesome overall. Great friends playing Magic. Eli is probably going to be like a lifelong friend until
sure
I
hope
kick
so.
him to the curb and lose his phone number.
Ouch.
But until I stop having events in LA, Eli's probably going to be around.
Basically, but yeah, like you meet a lot of friends. It's great.
Yeah, and like whatchamacallit, one of our guests in one of the upcoming episodes is going to be a guy named Jacob Heibel, who's somebody who I wouldn't have met without playing Magic. Our guest next episode is named
Honestly,
Dara Hetrick.
honestly, like it's a Magic podcast. All the guests you meet on this are going to be people that we met through Magic.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, going forward, I have a couple guests planned who like you may not know.
Sure.
And I don't even actually know them necessarily through Magic, but we have like maybe they're involved in some way, or maybe they're from the outside looking in. They just have a cool perspective or whatever. But like, anyways, like a lot of our guests are gonna like be people who we just met through the game, right?
Yeah.
So, I was talking about Amazing Discoveries earlier, but that's where we played, and I have a lot of good friends who like work there or play there and stuff like that. The best player in the next decade is going to be this kid named Riley Kimenow, who plays for Amazing Discoveries, and he's ridiculous.
I didn't even know. Do I?
That's because you're not good enough, Eli,
Apparently not.
on that level. Riley actually was in my dorm, not my
Really?
dorm room, but like he was in my dorm freshman year. That's how we met each other. In 2016.
That's your claim to
Pro
fame.
Tour, he made his first Pro Tour in Ixalan, I think. He's nuts. He just needs to stop listening to other people about the decks he should choose because he thinks pretty well, and he just keeps playing bad decks at Pro Tours, and it's not good. Oh man, that's a story. Team Amazing Discoveries for the Pro Tour. Oh man, I think it was one of the Red Pro Tours or whatever, right? Oh no, it was the first Pro Tour after Chain Whirler came out.
Ooh, what a great
And
card.
Esper tokens, like FNM / PPTQ deck that you could play. And they won their PPTQ and RPTQ with Esper tokens. PPTQ with Esper tokens. They won in whatever format. But basically, they decided for the Pro Tour, they're going to bring this Esper tokens deck. Chain Whirler Pro Tour, dude. Shit you not. They brought this army of servos to the Chain Whirler Pro Tour. It got demolished because what else are they going to do?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was tough. But anyway, shout outs to Riley. Shout outs to all those guys in Arizona, man. But yeah, I don't even know what we were talking about, but Magic's pretty great.
What's that social media plugs? So if you wanna,
Yeah, so if you have any social media you want to shout out, I definitely don't. Oh, check out TOK.
yeah,
TOK
just check
social
out the
media.
Logic Knot. That's
At the Logic Knot on Twitter.
and that's
You
what.
can email us at logicnotblog@gmail.com.
Don't email
And you can find us on Facebook
What?
where we literally don't post. Email us so Eli has to check it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, so check us out, check out our content, all that stuff.
Yeah, and then to close the podcast, let's talk about what's next for TOK, which is something we're going to be trying to do more moving forward, is just discuss any updates or whatever. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Modern Horizons previews. Almost certainly.
Yes, no, for sure. Might be 2 podcasts, but definitely the next podcast.
Yeah, and it might be a 2 podcast like series on Modern Horizons, because I know the first one we're going to want to talk about like just exciting stuff. Like we're just going to talk about the set in general, and then for the second one we'll probably have a more focused breakdown of cards we like and playables in Modern, some of the staples that could be coming out of the set.
Other than that, so the site will be getting a revamp soon. Lots of new stuff. It'll be much better, much cooler,
Yes.
and it'll bring in a lot of. I think it'll bring in a lot of eyes. But
And a lot of eyes. Like I don't know what we think, but it looks a lot better. The back end works better for
the
anybody.
back end's
too,
gonna be
us
the back end's
too.
gonna be way better, which is so important.
Very exciting to me.
Honestly, and for me, like I was really frustrated because Kazi never writes articles correctly, and so it'll be really nice to have him actually not need to, basically just take all the power I can away from Kazi, so it's easier for everyone.
Dare you to try and set Grammarly on me, bro. I swear to God.
But yeah, so
updating the website has a new deck building tool, right? And it's going to be prettier, which is a huge thing.
It'll be much prettier because we will be able to lay out decks, and eventually, very far from now, you'll be able to search by deck, and search by card, see what articles are in cards, stuff like that. But that's way down the road. It'll take a while. But yeah, so that's what we got. It'll be a lot of fun. Make sure to check out our future podcasts.
Wait. One thing. So something we've been working on. Rankings, and by we I mean I've been working on it because Eli's been really busy with the other stuff for like the technical side of the website, the stuff I don't do. Together MPL power rankings, guys, it's really hard.
Yes, that I'm very.
I don't know if you know this, but kind of like Wizard. The coverage of the MPL is like pretty okay. Wizard should probably be better at marketing it, but that's like a whole other issue. Overall, it's okay. I'm trying to compile everything, and like the scheduling is an absolute mess. I was putting together week 1, and in one of the divisions, there were just 4 players who just didn't play. Weren't even the 2 players who got kicked out of the league. There were just 4 players in a different division who just didn't play week 1. Like, it was supposed to be a bye. I just think they didn't submit their video in time or something.
That's what I mean. Like, it's tough, but.
Yeah, but anyways, next episode we're gonna have special guest Dara Hetrick. Is that how you pronounce Hetrick?
Yes, but I'm not 100% sure on who. It'll probably be Dara Hetrick and Ben Reardon. We're
gonna have somebody, and they're gonna be an okay person.
Yes, they will be an okay person.
We're not gonna promise good people, because.
So make sure to check us out. It'll be great, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, and no news on when that next upload will be because we don't know.
We're going to try to release these. They'll definitely get more and more regular, but we'll try to release these, weekly, and then hopefully...
We're aiming for next Tuesday, next Monday, because we want to get it done when the spoilers end, which should be this Friday, right?
I think so. It might be next Friday, but we'll figure it out.
If it's next Friday, it's going to be a while, guys. Anyways, thank you for listening. Eli?
Yeah, thank you for listening. See y'all next time.